All right, let's jump right in. I want you to picture this. A street in Chennai, the sun's gone down, the road is slick with rain. An auto rickshaw just zips past, and on the back of it, there's a symbol, a sticker, glowing in the twilight. That single image, that Padam, which is just the Tamil word for picture, that's where this whole story kicks off. Welcome to part 1 of the Decal-logue.
Padam ottiyirukan, Urupada maatan. This entire explainer really hinges on this one single comment I overheard from an auto driver. He was looking at another driver's vehicle, and just like that, he delivered this massive verdict on the guy's whole life. What it means is, he's pasted a picture, he will not prosper.
I mean, think about that. The idea that a simple sticker can basically determine your entire future. It's a wild thought, right? But what he said, it wasn't just a complaint about traffic or another driver. It felt more like a diagnosis. He saw a decal and he diagnosed a destiny. This is really about a universal glitch in our social code, what you could call sticker-based determinism.
So that begs the question, right? Why? Why do we do this? What is this impulse to stick pictures on our cars, our laptops, pretty much everything we own? It's definitely not just some random decoration. It's tapping into something much, much deeper, a really fundamental human need.
Okay, so look, in this massive, super complex world, we all feel a little small sometimes, right? And when we feel small, we look for connection. We crave a tribe, a group, an identity that makes us feel like we belong. So what do? We take a shortcut. We paste a picture. You could almost say we've evolved from being hunter-gatherers to being sticker displayers. We use these little decals to signal who we are without ever having to say a word. And this is a great way to look at it, like an identity iceberg. The sticker you actually see on the surface, that's just the tip. But deep down, below the water, that's where the real motivation is hiding. Our insecurities, and that powerful primal need to belong to something. We're not just sticking on a decal, we're trying to buy the feeling of safety that comes with being part of a tribe.
And this, of course, leads us right into a very modern and a very real trap. The sticker starts to feel like more than just a signal. It almost becomes proof that we exist. And the fear of being unlabeled, of being invisible, can actually become way bigger than the fear of being untrue to who we really are.
And that's the real trade-off here. We get so wrapped up in curating the outside, polishing that decal until it shines, that we completely forget to build the engine on the inside. Our skills, our character, our actual substance. All of that just starts to rust away.
So this behavior, it isn't just random. There's actually a system to it. It's a mechanism we all use to get by in our social world. And we're going to give this mechanism a name, S.L.A.P.
Now, S.L.A.P. stands for Selective Labeling for Affirmative Prestige. I know, it sounds a little academic, but stick with me. All it really means is using some external symbol as a cheap, low-effort shortcut to a personality. It's a borrowed identity. It's an instant signal to the world that says, hey, I belong to this tribe, so you already know what to think of me.
And think about how this modern armor works. An alumni decal on a car isn't just a piece of plastic. It's sending a signal, I am elite, I'm intelligent. A party flag signals, I'm on the right side of things. A logo on a device says, I'm creative. Even a picture on a bumper can signal power or rebellion. We are literally wearing our values on our bumpers. And here's the absolute key to the whole thing. S.L.A.P lives in that gap between who we want to be and who we actually are. We paste the picture of the person we aspire to be, hoping the sticker itself will do all the heavy lifting for us. It's the ultimate performance, isn't it? Polishing that decal until it gleams while the engine inside just sputters and stalls.
So how does this jump from just being a personal habit to becoming a much, much bigger problem? What happens when an entire society starts to operate this way?
Well, the more we rely on these stickers to understand each other, the less we actually see the person behind the label. And that's when society starts to break apart. Not into real connected communities, but into this chaotic mess of competing logos. It becomes a fragmentation engine, where every single decal is another wall between us.
And here's the really tragic irony in all of this. In our desperate search to find our herd, we end up more isolated than ever before. Real communication just shuts down. We stop having conversations, and instead we just have collisions between bumpers, each one just defending its own sticker.
So we've looked at the impulse, we've given the mechanism a name, and we've faced some of the consequences. But the story isn't over, because every single one of those stickers, every Padam, is making a promise.
A sticker is a promise you make to complete strangers, a promise about who you are, what you believe, and how you're going to act. But that leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Who comes to collect on that promise? And that is exactly what we are going to dig into in Part 2.
See you there.